The Continuum Approach is not a method. It does not replicate existing teaching traditions, schools, or technical systems. Nor does it ask the learner to abandon repertoire, notation, or discipline. Instead, it operates alongside chosen methods, offering a pedagogical framework through which those methods may be used more humanely, more intelligently, and with greater long-term continuity. Continuum is concerned not with what is taught, but with how learning is allowed to take place. It asks different questions. Not how quickly can this be achieved, but what conditions allow this to endure. Not what should the student produce, but what must be present for learning to remain alive. A pedagogy, not a prescription. Continuum is a pedagogy rather than a programme. It does not prescribe a fixed sequence of exercises, graded outcomes, or externally defined goals. Teachers and learners may work with any repertoire, tradition, or technical system they choose. Classical, popular, experimental, oral, notated, or improvised. What Continuum provides is a lens, a way of observing when learning is unfolding naturally and when it is collapsing under strain, fear, or premature demand. It is deliberately non-competitive. It does not rank learners. It does not assume uniform development, motivation, or capacity. Instead, it recognises that people arrive at music carrying lives. Learners do not arrive as a blank canvas. Students do not begin as neutral surfaces awaiting instruction. They arrive with histories, bodies, anxieties, identities, cultural inheritance, trauma, curiosity, resistance, enthusiasm, and fatigue, often in combinations that are not immediately visible. Some are young and unsettled, some are displaced from education, some are neurodivergent, sensitive, or wary of authority. Some are older, returning to music after years of silence, loss, or interruption. Continuum does not attempt to normalise these differences. It accommodates them. The framework assumes unknowns rather than deficits. It avoids assumptions about background, privilege, aptitude, or intent, and rejects the idea that stress, competition, or constant evaluation are necessary conditions for serious learning. Progress is not treated as a race. Achievement is not used as a measure of worth. Learning is allowed to remain personal without becoming isolated, and communal without becoming coercive. Music as a unifying act. At its core, Continuum treats music not as a hierarchy to be climbed, but as a shared human activity. Across cultures and histories, music has functioned as a uniting force, a means of regulation, communication, ritual, protest, and solace. The Continuum Approach honours this role by resisting educational structures that fragment learners through comparison, ranking, or premature judgment. It is equally suited to children encountering sound for the first time, to young people navigating unstable educational environments, adults seeking focus, grounding, or recovery through making music, teachers working across mixed ages, abilities, and cultural contexts. The emphasis is not on producing identical outcomes, but on sustaining engagement, listening, and agency. Composition as a central act. A defining feature of the Continuum Approach is its treatment of composition. Composition is not reserved for advanced stages of learning, nor framed as a specialist skill for the talented few. It is introduced early, in simple and accessible forms, as a natural extension of listening and orientation. To compose in this context, is not necessarily to notate or formalize. It may mean choosing, arranging, repeating, varying, or noticing. Composition is treated as a way of thinking, a way of listening, a way of claiming authorship over sound. By composing early, even in the most modest forms, learners develop agency, curiosity, and a sense of ownership that many traditional methods delay or deny. This early engagement with making decisions about sound supports deeper understanding of repertoire later, rather than competing with it. Continuum does not separate interpretation and creation. Both arise from attention. Copyright Sarnia de la Maré, The Continuum Approach.